Alright guys, so I have a little treat for you. This is something I used to make quite regularly, and I haven't made it for quite some time. It's a nice little kind of bedtime snack if you've got a few minutes to do the prep work. Today, we are going to learn how to make casein cookies. This is a cookie that you make, and the main ingredient is casein protein powder. Casein protein is the type of protein, I should say, that generally you eat before bedtime because it's a slow digesting protein and it'll help you feel full so you don't get hungry and wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know if that's a problem that many of you guys have, but it's a problem that I have had for a very long time. And since I've started taking casein protein before bed, I haven't had that problem. So instead of just whipping it up into a shake, here's kind of a fun thing to do. You can actually make cookies, and believe it or not, these things taste like real cookies. They're pretty incredible. So let me see, make sure I got everything in the camera shot here. We'll go through the ingredients. I'll mix everything together, and then we'll bake them and we'll give them a try. So the first ingredient is the actual casein protein. And the recipe that I have calls for 1.5 scoops. The problem is, I don't think all scoops are created equal. And part of this you can kind of fix at the end with adding a little bit of water. So I'm going to do 2 scoops because I'm going to be sharing these cookies with my wife tonight. And then I'm pretty sure the next thing is the peanut butter. So this recipe called for 3 tablespoons of peanut butter, which I didn't measure, but I got a big old glob of peanut butter here. I think that's pretty close to 3 tablespoons. That on there. Then, I'm trying to think the right order. I should have practiced this before I did it on video for you guys, but I think what I like to do is get the powder all in the peanut butter, because that is just kind of a binder. So I'll get that all in. See how the peanut butter just kind of disappears? I haven't made these in such a long time. I swear I used to use this bowl, but it's looking like the bowl might be a little bit too small for this. We will soon find out. So let me do that. There's not really a lot to mix yet. From there, we're going to put in a half teaspoon or half tablespoon. See, my wife was calling out the recipe to me a minute ago, and I wrote it down because I'm using my phone to record, and so I can't look it up on my phone. I've got this measuring cup. I'm pretty sure this is a teaspoon. Yeah. You say it should be tiny? This might be a tablespoon. Alright, we're going to wing it. So I got a half tablespoon measure. And I'm going to try to get half. I wish my wife would come over here. She's coming. Tell me, do you guys think this is half a teaspoon? Here.
That's a tablespoon.
Well, no, that's not a tablespoon in it.
No. Oh, that's enough in there. But...
Yeah, this is all right. We're gonna say that this is half a teaspoon of baking soda. Then you're gonna mix all this up together. I should have used a slightly bigger bowl, but I wanted you guys to be able to see it. And I swear, you know what? I do have these like slightly larger bowls. I think that's what I used last year. We'll see if we can get everything to fit. If not, I'll record this again. So then for the liquid, we're going to put a half cup of milk. I'm getting it all over me. All right.
Are you using that instead of water?
I'm going to add water at the end. There was a couple recipes I found. Some of them called for milk, some of them called for water. I decided that I was going to put milk in And then I also know for a fact that this is going to absorb most of the liquid pretty quickly. Plus I used, if you remember, an extra little bit of casein. So at the end here, when all the milk is absorbed and stirred in, I'm going to add a little bit of water. And you have to be very careful, because at the end, when you're adding a little bit of water, it can actually be too much water in a very short period of time. So if you can see, that's what I've got right now, and it's still pretty dry. So this is the part where you just add a little bit of water. I put about half cup in here, and I added about a quarter cup. You want to get it to the point where you can kind of roll into balls, which I think we're pretty much there. Honey, you want to get me a cookie sheet, please? It's actually not bad having a helper, as long as she doesn't start yelling at me about how I'm doing things. Alright, so this actually looks like it's pretty good consistency.
You want spray on it?
No. Oh, sure. If you want to put some spray on it, put some spray on it.
I didn't know if it would stick.
It doesn't stick.
Okay.
Just hold on. I'm not ready yet. So this is about it. This will roll into balls. Oh man, it's going to be a little sticky on my hands. I'm going to just touch of water. There we go. Alright. Now what I have to do is wash my hands, so this doesn't stick to my hands too bad. I think from what I remember doing this last year, I'd have to have my hands pretty damp. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to get this stuff out of the way. That works. Alright, so there's that. Let me get my hands, let me get a good wash. I think generally the peanut butter should make these a little bit oily so they don't stick to your hands, but I don't think it really works that way. So I'm just going to grab, I'm going to make, what am I going to do? I'm going to do 2 really big cookies here. Kind of divide it in half. As you can see, it's very scientific. There's one. Can you guys hear it? It's kind of a funny little cookie. That is huge. I should have made 4. Alright. There's a little left in the bowl, but that's not a big deal. Some of the recipes I found called for a lot more peanut butter, and they called for like 2 whole eggs and all this stuff. I would say, if you find a recipe that calls for that stuff, keep looking, because it's not necessary. This is supposed to be really, really simple. And after you do it a couple of times, it's not a big deal. So, here's how my hands look. Alright, then, at the very end, see if I can bring this in. Just kind of push them down a little bit. And remember, we're not making cookies like you would normally make. So they don't quite react the same. But I can promise you, these are going to cook up amazing and they're going to taste delicious. I've done this before where I've also put it down as like one giant blob. Actually works. Or if you want to be really fun, you can put it into like a little bread pan, and it actually bakes up pretty good like a little bread pan. So we're going to stick this in the oven at 350 degrees. Now, it kind of depends on how big you make the cookies for how long they're going to take to cook. The recipe said 14 minutes. We're going to check in about 10 minutes and see how they're doing. So I think I'm just going to pause the video here, and when they come out of the oven, we're going to take a look. All right, I'm going to call these things done. They're a bit hilarious. Let me see if I can get a spatula. Oh yeah, they came right off. All right, so let's pull these bad boys out, and then we'll do a taste test after they cool down. Alrighty, I decided to come down into my fancy recording studio to do the taste test on these. So you saw what the cookies look like in the oven. So I came down to the basement. I've got a glass of milk, and I've got my giant Casein cookie. Let's see. It doesn't look the same as it did when it came out of the oven. It actually, it was probably like this big before, and then it kind of flattens itself out. So here's what this cookie looks like. There's the top. It just, honestly, it looks like a regular chocolate cookie. I'm kind of excited to give this a try. I used to make these quite a bit, and I don't know. I've just kind of stopped. I've gotten lazy. It's a lot easier just to put water in a shake and drink it. But this, I thought, would be something kind of fun, and especially if you're dieting really hard, which I should be right now, but I'm not, once again. But if you're dieting really hard and you can't have any like desserts or anything, this is a pretty good dessert. It's probably a little too high fat because of all that peanut butter, but it's not too bad. So here's going to be my first try of Casein cookies in a while. It's good. It's chocolatey and peanut buttery. The texture is more of a, if you've ever made like cake batter cookies, it actually tastes like it has a lot of egg white in it, and it has no egg white in it, which is kind of funny. Like, it's not the taste, but it's like the chewiness. I don't know. See if we can get up close for you. But that is what, there's what the inside looks like. So these are my my Casein cookies that are very protein rich, basically zero carbohydrate, just a little bit of fat. Pretty yummy little treat. So give them a try, and let me know how it works out for you. I don't know. It's late at night. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'll see you later.